Hey guys, it's Kat. I decided to do a video about my ghostly experiences, and I know it's not really okay. My knee started to go numb and hurt. Yeah, but instead I decided to do my stories about my ghostly experiences. I know it's not the most original video ever, but I just thought it would be kind of cool, especially since I keep having weird ass dreams, and so yeah, so I thought it'd be fun to talk about my ghostly experiences. First story is basically, it happened when I was young. I don't remember how old I was, but I lived in Brigham, Utah, with my uncle and my aunt and my two cousins and my mom, my dad, and my sister. It was a big house for the most part, and we lived up this hill on a mountain, and we were very isolated. Giant fields all around us. There was an old barn that we weren't allowed to go to because it looked like it would fall apart. And every time you walked up this trail really far, you would get this weird feeling that you shouldn't go any further, like it was dangerous, so we would always come back. But my sister and I, our room was in the attic. It actually was the attic, and we had to climb up a little ladder to get into our room and then pull the ladder up and then close the door. And my bed was next to the closet, and her bed was next to the window. And the closet had this hole in it that was covered up by a small, thin piece of wood. And one night we were sleeping, and I kept hearing this pounding, knocking noise. So I woke up, and I shined a light at the closet because that's where I was hearing it from. And I saw this piece of wood, literally, like no joke, it looked like something was trying to hit it because it was popping out and then popping back in. But it wasn't, it was like something was hitting it from the inside of the wall, like something was trying to get out. And for a while I was freaked out. I didn't do anything, and then I woke up my sister and she saw it too, so I wasn't completely crazy. So we ended up going out of the attic, all freaked out, down to my cousins, told them what happened, and we waited until daylight. When we went back up there, we decided to take the piece of wood off of the wall and look into the hole, and we found toys, like little kid, old toys that were like maybe from the 50s and the 30s, and it was creepy and weird. And ever since then, we patched up the hole with something bigger and thicker, and ever since then, my sister slept next to the closet, and I slept next to the window. And I think that's probably why I have an issue with attics now, and why attics freak me out, because ever since then, I've been afraid of going up into attics. And yeah, so that was an interesting experience when I was little to experience. And at this house, we always had these weird, creepy experiences that that were so strange. Like one day, I was home with my sister and my cousins, and we heard little kids running around outside, and we used to have rocks. There was just rocks. We didn't have like a parking lot. It was just a bunch of rocks in front of the house, and we heard little kids laughing and running, and you could hear the rustling of the rocks. And when we looked outside, there was nobody out there. Nobody was around, and it was just creepy, and it was weird, and just strange. And we would always hear things breaking and falling, and nothing would be broken or falling. I remember once a cereal box fell on the floor, and all of a sudden I saw it fall on the floor, and then I walked out and told someone what happened. I walked back in, and the cereal box was back on the table. I remember we took a picture, and there was this woman in this picture. You couldn't exactly tell what she looked like, but you could tell she was a woman, and she was standing, like, half of her was in the house and half of her was outside the sliding glass door, and that was creepy. There was a lot of weird shit that happened at this house, and I think the area is different now because we moved out, but there was a lot of weird shit that happened at the house that was really creepy, and it was an interesting, really fun experience, but it was also kind of like disturbing, and it made your body feel like it was almost threatened. So yeah, that's a couple of the stories just at that one house. Another story I have was I think it was at an aunt's house or my grandmother's house or somebody's house, and my friends and my sister and I and my cousins wanted to play hide and seek in the dark, and I decided to hide behind this plant, and there was this little girl hiding in this plant with me, and I thought this girl was part of the group, but there was something about her that was creepy because she was so pale and she was like so pale that she was glowing, and she was freaking me out. And I stood in that plant with her because I thought, you know, there's no reason to be freaked out. You're probably just creeped out because it was dark. And so we were standing there, we were talking, and she was creepy, and I remember I got this feeling in my gut, like, I shouldn't be with her, like, this was just abnormal and not right. And eventually, when everybody was found, I kept looking for this girl, this really pale little girl, and I couldn't find her. And when I told, I think it was my aunt or somebody who lived in this house, I can't remember, when I told them, she said that, yeah, she's been seeing a little girl at the house and outside the house ever since they moved in. And that was probably who I saw. And I remember I was so creeped out because I was literally right next to this, like, I was almost touching this little girl, talking to her like she was my friend, and which was really kind of cool, because the only reason it felt weird was because it felt abnormal, like your body can sense it. But it was creepy, but I didn't feel threatened like she was gonna hurt me. I felt like, you know, it felt like she wanted to join in the fun, but at the same time, when your body feels like it's something abnormal, it sets off alarms. But it was like I was right next to this person. I was right next to this little girl, and it was just so weird and interesting. And then one more story, because this video is going to be really long. In the house that we recently lived in, me and my sister were sitting in, this always happens with when my sister's around, so it's usually when I have experiences, it's when me and my sister are together, like we're some kind of conduit. But we were sitting in our living room, we were watching a Korean drama, I think it was Boys Over Flowers, and we heard, I don't know how long this sink was on, but we heard the sink on, and our sink was one of those ones that you push up to turn on, and you had to use a lot of force because it was old, so you had to use a lot of force to turn it on. And my sister and I were the only ones there because my mom was at work, and so was my dad, and I heard the sink was on, so I went to the bathroom, I went to the kitchen, it was in the kitchen, I went to the kitchen, and it was on, and I was like, the sink is on. And she's like, what? And I was like, I don't know how the sink is on. Did you leave it on? And neither of us went to the kitchen for hours. And we had all our snacks and stuff with us. And I was like, I didn't turn it on, you didn't turn it on, so somebody or something turned it on. And it happened all the time. That sink would turn on all the time by itself, and things would fall off the back of the toilet. And when I was in my room was right next to the stairs, and always at night when everybody was asleep, I would hear people going up and down the stairs constantly. Like, when somebody's awake and going up and down up the stairs or down the stairs, you can hear it, but it was like they were just going up and then down and then up and then down, and I know I wasn't the only one hearing it. And then there was one time when I was home alone, I was actually watching American Horror Story Murder House, the episode when the people break into the house to reenact that murder experience that a guy did, and which that's not very specific, but anyway, I heard, and I know it wasn't just me because my dog heard it, but my side door, my carport door, opened and closed extremely hard. And the only problem with that is I don't know if it was a ghost or a person, because everybody was at work. My mom, my dad, and my sister were at work, and they were not going to come home for hours. So there was nobody home, and I don't know if it was a ghost or a person that just came in the house and then closed the door. I don't even know. But if it was just me that heard it, I would be like, oh, I'm crazy, you're just scared. But no, my dog heard it, and he ran downstairs and to the bathroom and to the door, and he stood there and he sniffed the door and he was whining, and it was creepy. And there was a lot of stuff that happened in this house. Almost every house that I go to, I have some kind of an experience, which is interesting and creepy and kind of cool, but also very unsettling. Yes, those are my ghostly stories, and I am so sorry that the video is like 10 minutes long or more than that. But yeah, I just wanted to share some of my experiences, and for anybody who's ever experienced some kind of ghost thing, go ahead and comment or leave a video response. I would really love to hear them. I have so many more ghost stories that I could tell you. If you'd like me to continue with the ghost stories or any weird experiences that I've had, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and please, please, please take the time and subscribe, because I make videos every Tuesday and Friday, and sometimes in between when I'm extremely bored. So, like right now. And, so yeah, go ahead and subscribe and spend more time with me because I'm super fun. And I might be a little dull right now because my mouth is killing me. I have like a crevasse in my mouth and I haven't had the money to get it out, and I've had to get a root canal, and I don't know if like I had an abscess and it burst or something, because if you can't tell, especially when I smile, right this side is where my tooth is, and it's all swollen and this side isn't, and it's kind of hard to see, especially in this lighting because it's terrible, but it kind of hurts to talk. But I've been trying to stay cheerful. But yeah, so hopefully eventually I can get this demon out of my mouth and I'll be okay. But yeah, so thank you for joining me, and I had a really fun time talking about my ghostly experiences. And I will see you later on Tuesday. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a beautiful night. And this is Kat signing off.